டெங்கு காய்ச்சல், மலேரியா, கொரோனா இதையெல்லாம் நம்ம எதிர்க்கக்கூடாது, ஒழித்து கட்ட வேண்டும். அப்படிதான் இந்த சனாதனம். சனாதனம் என்பதை எதிர்ப்பதை விட ஒழிப்பதே நாம் செய்ய வேண்டிய முதல் காரியமாகும்.
DMK leader Udhayanidhi Stalin on 2nd September 2023 stirred up a major controversy when he equated Sanatan Dharma to dengue, COVID-19, malaria and mosquitoes. He blamed Sanatan Dharma for promoting division and discrimination among people and said that it should be eradicated. Needless to say, this didn't go down well with the ruling Modi government.
धर्म तो दुनिया में एक ही है, वह है सनातन धर्म.
Neither did it receive unanimous support from the India opposition bloc. Leaders like Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal refrained from siding with Udhayanidhi's controversial remark. The word Sanatan has its roots in Sanskrit and can be translated into eternal, ancient, venerable, or unshakable. Hence, Sanatan Dharma, as per popular Hindu belief, is a religion which has existed since time immemorial. The word Sanatan does not feature in the Vedas, but was first used in the Bhagavad Gita and refers to knowledge of the soul, which is eternal. One can say that Sanatan Dharma refers to eternal religions which believe in soul and rebirth. As per ISKCON, Sanatan Dharma in Hinduism is used to denote the set of duties and practices incumbent upon all Hindus. Another related meaning is that which is integral to something. For example, the dharma of sugar is to be sweet, and the dharma of fire is to be hot. Vedic scriptures, composed 3000 years ago, do not use the word Sanatan or timelessness. We find the word in the Mahabharata, which was composed 2000 years ago. It refers to the conversations on soul and rebirth, ideas that became popular with the rise of monastic orders and through the Upanishads, Buddhism and Jainism about 2500 years ago. Manu, the first man in the mythology of India and the legendary author of an important Sanskrit law code, the Manusmriti, in his Dharma Shastra, also about 2000 years old, places belief in the soul and makes rebirth the foundation of caste-based hierarchy. For traditionalists, however, the events described in the Mahabharata happened 5000 years ago in 3000 BC. They do not respect any historical evidence to the contrary, so they insist that Sanatan is an ancient, timeless concept. It must be kept in mind that in Buddhist, Jain and Hindu mythology, their doctrine is eternal and transmitted from time to time by historical Buddhas, Tirthankaras and Rishis. This has now become a matter of faith and is no longer about facts. For Buddhists, nothing is eternal. All things are ephemeral. This belief, Dhamma, is timeless, Sanatan. For Jains, violence takes one to the lower realms and non-violence takes one to the higher realms. The world has no beginning, Anadi, and no end, Ananta. This is the word of the Tirthankara or the Jinvani, which makes these ideas eternal and timeless. For Hindus, society is based on caste. Different communities have different rights and practices, and all need to be respected. Every human is obliged to perform his role as per the family that he belongs to, the gender he acquires at birth, and his life cycle. He has to repay his obligations to family, clan, ancestors, teachers, and society. This is non-negotiable and eternal. Unless we repay debts, we can never be free. This eternal belief is Sanatan Dharma. Here, caste consciousness is paramount, and with this consciousness come the ideas of purity, pollution, and untouchability. Essentially, faiths with belief in rebirth can be classified as Sanatan Dharma. They are distinguished from religions with the belief that we live only once, that is, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In the 19th century, there were many reform movements in India based on concepts of justice and equality. Women's education was being promoted and education was being made available to all castes. The old way was crumbling. This was spearheaded by reformists whose organizations were concerned about society or the Samaj. This included Arya Samaj, Brahmo Samaj, Prarthana Samaj, and Satyashodhak Samaj. These reform movements were opposed by traditionalists like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, who argued that one must not encourage women's education and education of members of the lower caste, as it will destroy tradition and result in instability. These people were called the Sanatanis, or the followers of the old way, and they coined the word Hindutva, which was based on eternal or Sanatani beliefs. The Samaj-Sanatani conflict of the 19th century has manifested as the left-right conflict of the 21st century. Today, the Sanatan group does not openly advocate against caste and women's rights, but it does project the Brahmin community as the foundation of Hindu society. They propagate the pseudo-history that in ancient India, all genders and castes thrived and there was no oppression, and that all oppression came with the arrival of Muslims and missionaries. The idea of conversion comes from monotheistic faiths. It was popularized by Christian and Islamic missionaries. It wiped out polytheism across Europe, West Asia, Africa, and America. India, however, seems to have done a better job of blocking the monotheistic onslaught. Despite 8 centuries of foreign rule by Muslim warlords from Central Asia and later Europeans, less than 20% of Indians converted to Islam and Christianity. But secular policies of justice and equality threaten the old caste model, which is deemed as oppressive and exploitative. The Indian constitution strips Brahmins of their social status. It makes the old aristocrats equal to communities who were forced to live on the fringes of villages, forced to do manual scavenging and sanitation work. This is naturally resented by the old order, especially when Muslim and Christian religious practices, despite being misogynistic and homophobic, are rationalized rather than criticized. This also provides political opportunity to politicians who capitalize on the fact that Hindus have long felt misunderstood.
इस देश की संस्कृति का, इस देश के इतिहास का, सनातन धर्म का अपमान कर रहे हैं। एक वित्त मंत्री का बेटा और एक मुख्यमंत्री का बेटा वो कह रहे हैं सनातन धर्म को समाप्त कर देना चाहिए।
Around the world, Hindus are mocked because they worship idols and cows. It is difficult to explain caste and rebirth to people from other nationalities who may have never heard of these concepts before. While scientists attack religions, Hinduism finds itself isolated as it is very different from the dominant monotheistic religions of the West. Devdutt Patnaik has recently tried to explain what the word Sanatan means and what its implications or use cases can be for the Indian political system. According to him, Sanatan Dharma can mean 1. Faith in eternal things, 2. Faith in soul and rebirth, 3. Faith in the caste system, and 4. Faith in the doctrine of purity. The politician picks and chooses his or her meaning to suit his agenda. So if your voter base does not like Brahmins and the caste system, you can say that Sanatan Dharma refers to the caste-based privileges that are assumed to be eternal. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita did refer to the Varna-based hierarchy based on personalities of people and called this eternal. But if your voter base respects Brahmins and is made of those who feel persecuted by caste-based reservations, you can say that Sanatan Dharma is about all things eternal: time, space, soul, and rebirth. You avoid all references to caste and untouchability. PM Modi, in an informal chat with his ministers during a recent cabinet meeting, raised the controversy and said that the ministers should give a befitting reply to the Sanatan Dharma debate. They should learn about the subject and present facts to counter the opposition leaders in the Sanatan row without letting the India versus Bharat controversy eclipse the row. Union Minister Smriti Irani also walked right into the Sanatan Dharma controversy at recently concluded Janmashtami celebrations, when she urged the crowd that the chants for Lord Krishna should be so loud that they reach those who challenge Sanatan Dharma.
पुनः सबसे आग्रह है कि जिन लोगों ने सनातन धर्म को चुनौती दी है उनके कानों तक हमारे स्वर पहुंचे कि जब तक एक एक भक्त इस पुण्य धरती पर जीवित है तब तक कोई ऐसा नहीं जो धर्म को चुनौती दे, कोई ऐसा नहीं जो आस्था को चुनौती दे। आप सबसे पुनः आग्रह है कि जोर से बोलें, कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की।
The Mira Road Police in Mumbai have registered an FIR against Tamil Nadu Minister Udhaynidhi Stalin following a complaint over his remarks on Sanatan Dharma. Based on the complaint by a local resident, the Mira Road Police registered the FIR against Stalin under Indian Penal Code sections 295A and 153A. The complainant claimed that Stalin's remarks have hurt the sentiments and religious feelings of those who follow the Sanatan Dharma. At this stage, we aren't really sure about which way this controversy is headed. However, it is important to note that Sanatan Dharma is a complex and multifaceted concept that has been interpreted in different ways by different people through hundreds of years. It is also a sensitive issue that can evoke strong emotions and reactions from people. Therefore, it is important to approach this issue with sensitivity and respect for different viewpoints. We hope that political parties will not use this sensitive topic to further widen religious divides in the Indian society, simply in order to improve their chances in the general elections scheduled in 2024. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, we request you to share it with family and friends and subscribe to our channel. This will help us create more content such as this. Thank you.